Hello, guys. So we're live. I just want to talk about uh, some reloading things and some guns. Hey, Kyle. I'm glad you're here, Kyle. I've got a question. And you and Jamie are the ones I wanted to talk to. Uh, what do you think about your 40 caliber S&W pistols? Do you like them? Are they? Here's my main question. Are they, do you like them better than 9 millimeter? The 40 S&W? That's the number one question. Okay, that brings up another question. Is that the M&P that you were shooting the can with? It wasn't 9 millimeter, it was 40 caliber, wasn't it? Depends on the scenario. Uh, okay, well, I bought this die set the other day at a 40 cal, and I don't know how far to go with this 40 cal thing. Uh, here's a 40 compared to a 45. Oh, so it was your 9 millimeter. Okay, Jamie says 40 cal all the way. So you've got your 45, you've got your 40. They're pretty similar. I don't know if any of you seen Dirt Roads testing with the sand, but he took a 40 cal and shot it through different containers of sand with different thicknesses. And the 40 cal actually penetrated better than the 45. But you got to remember the 45 is heavier and it's bigger. So that it actually moved the container more than the 40 cal did. So that's another question. Is penetration a thing? Kyle says 40 rolls out nice. What Jamie say? I kind of wondered about that, Jamie, if the 40 cal wasn't easier to load than the 9 millimeter. When you say it's easier to load, do you mean it's easier? Nice shirt. Thank you. I think some of us is getting these shirts. Hey, Thorzax. My question tonight was about the 40 caliber. Now, I know there's lots of different scenarios and calibering that up, but is 40 better than a 9 millimeter, and in what situations? You think the 40 is more forgiving than a 9 or the 45, Kyle? Hey, Willie. How you feeling, buddy? How's the foot? Yeah, and easier to handle. I can see that. A 45 would have more power factor and be easier to handle than the 45. Yeah. Nine millimeter can be tricky to load for. Kinetic energy, yeah. But I would say the 45 would be a little bit better kinetic energy than the 40. I would stick with the 9mm, Willie says. It is cheaper, and you can get a lot more brass. Actually, I have never paid for 9mm brass, and I have got buckets of 9mm hidden power. The only time I've had any experience with 40 was back, it was in the early 90s, and I don't think they've even, they had just came out with the 40. I think they had dropped the 10mm and was going down to the 40. And my brother-in-law had a 40 and a Glock, and he let me shoot it, and I was so unimpressed with the Glock at that time that I didn't enjoy shooting the 40. So I don't know if shooting a different gun in a 40 would be better, or if it was just the Glock thing. Oh, Willie's still in the hospital. Well, thanks for joining us, Willie. So, what bullet do you load, Jamie and Kyle? What bullets are you loading in at what weight? And do you think heavier is better than lighter, or is lighter heavier than? Yeah, 9mm is cheap. But to get back on the weight, jacketed in at 80. Well, see, that's kind of where I was going, was somewhere around a 175 to 180. I've seen a lot of guys use 135s and 155s, and if you're going to do that, you might as well stick with a 9mm or a 38, in my opinion. I just don't see. Yeah. Yeah, I like that TC bullet in that 9mm, Willie. I've got a Lyman. It's got about the same shape as that Lee, and it's just the most accurate bullet. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Scott, do you have any experience with the 90? Do you shoot a 90, or is all yours 9mm? A 90, a 40 S&W, or a 9mm? No, thank you, Mr. Tim. All shapes and sizes. So, in your opinion, Scott, do you like the 9mm over the 90, or is there times that one's better than the other? What I've done, I know you're just now getting here. What I've done is I've bought a die set for the 40, and I just don't know how far to go with it. If I should purchase a firearm, or just dink around with just loading. Yeah, well, that's the way I am. I've always had 9mm, and I love the 9mm, and they're cheap. Hey, Kenny. it's a nice light cup. I really like it. Oh, so you've got a carbine in the 40. Yeah, I reload everything I shoot too. I haven't shot factory loads in a long time, and if I do, I'm just shooting it for the brass. For a little bump. Yeah. You're having trouble with your 380s? As far as what? Hey, Georgia boy. Do you like the 40? Yeah, Kyle has trouble with 380s too. They end up in his nines. I've got into reloading for the 380, and I kind of like it. I'll take your 380, Tim. It's actually the wife's, but I don't. She hasn't shot it yet. Every time I mention the range, she doesn't want to go. It's been awful hot, so she doesn't like the heat. You know, I've heard that about carbine. Sometimes you don't gain velocity. I would say it would depend on your powder charge or what powder you're using. I'd say if you're using a slower burning powder, it would probably go faster. Yeah, I kind of wondered about a cheap police trade in, but now I don't know if anybody's noticing it, but a lot of companies are starting to close out their 40s in different uh, models, and they're starting to clearance them out. Yeah, I've been thinking about a CZ too, Willie. Been seeing a lot of people have good luck with CZs. Yeah, yeah, we do all buy our wives pistols. I remember every Valentine's Day, I would buy my wife a shotgun. Yeah, yeah, Browning High Power. That's a pretty good pistol. Yeah, I don't know if I trust myself to do one of those polymer 80 projects. Yeah, I've been hearing about the Springfield uh, XD40 that they're selling pretty cheap right now. Yeah, I think the 92 and a 40 caliber would probably be pretty nice too. Don't they make that in a 40 cal? Yeah, Springfield makes pretty good pistols. My son had one in a 45 and he just loved it. All right. Yeah, I thought they did. They also have it in that what is that 24/7 too. I heard that was a pretty good pistol in the Taurus. Hey, Nathan. Right now we're talking about 40s, 9s, and 45s. You know, I bought that die set in the 40 S&W, and I was just wondering how far to take this. I don't know. I kind of spooked Nathan about that the other day when I sent him that package. But I've got kind of a sixth sense. Scott, what velocities you getting out of your 40 S&Ws with what grain bullet? Ooh, that's a nice price. $2.99. White Loads of Bacon's putting out some money for this stuff, ain't he? Kyle's got some packages going out. You know, Kyle, I have not got your address. You have sent me 2 packages from 2 different addresses, and not one of them was yours. No, you hang on to your 40 cal. I can get it if I need it. I don't have a chronograph. 180. Okay, well, that seems to be the census. Is a 180 grain bullet. I'm that's kind of where I'm wanting to stick, somewhere around 175 to a 180. So did Nate, Kyle, you shoot that out of a Glock too, don't you? The 40 cal. Have you had any trouble with the cases rupturing? Yeah, and that's another good point, Nathan. I'm a revolver guy, and you don't hardly see a 40 cal revolver. Pyro pistol. I have got to get me some pyro pistol. Everybody and their brother liking this pyro pistol, and I can't around here. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to look a little harder. Go to some different shops. You know, you got to get comfortable in going to certain shops, and you end up missing out. I've actually the blacksmith down here sells reloading supplies, and I have yet to get there. I've been talking about that for over a year now. Okay. You like my shirt? Oceans, or ocean, I should say. 4.5 grains of 231. That's another powder I need to get a hold of, is some 231. Number 11? I don't think I've heard of it. Now, is that Reloader number 11? Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? I've never. 10 I've heard of, but not 11. Oh, Accurate Arms, number 11. The slowest one I've heard of is the 9. Oh, they do have revolvers in a 40. I check that out. Oh no, you go right ahead and ask any question you want to, because we're talking reloading, guns, whatever comes up. Which brings me up to another point. Yesterday I went by. I was going to buy a. Yeah, that would be sweet to have a 40 GP 100. I went by the shop the other day. Was going to get me a mold for a 40 cal bullet because I was pretty sure I seen one there the other day. Yeah, I like blue dot. If there's a dot in it, I like it. But they didn't have any, and I ended up buying some Lee factory crimp dies. Now, I've only had one, and that's from a 223. But I found out that the pistols are not like the rifles. The pistols actually have a carbide solid piece in it that actually takes the bulge out of the brass if your bullets is too big. So I'm pretty sure it's probably resizing your bullet and then crimping. And then the rifles actually have a collar that squeezes in to tighten up or to make your crimp. Oh, I missed something here. But I've seen on a lot of videos where guys were talking about if you use the collar dies, they'll actually make a ring in your bullet. If they read the little piece of paper that came with the dies, it actually says that it will make a cannelure. Yeah, the Lee factory crimper forms a cannelure in the bullet as it crimps. So it's actually designed to do that. If you've got a smooth sided bullet, it will actually make a ring in your bullet. Willie, we that's what we do. We love to reload and we love to show what we do. And I don't think it's right that YouTube has tried to squish that. Yeah. Well, guys, I've never had a real good crimping system for my 308. So I'm going to buy one for my 308. And I'm hoping that it's going to make my groups a little smaller, because I know in my 223 it really helped. It brought my group sizes down. And I got one in a 357, and then I'll be going back to the 410 shotgun powder because I've been getting inconsistency with it, thinking maybe it might be the crimp. Oh, I never. Yeah, that die set I bought for the 303 actually has a collar crimping die in it. But yeah, I know with the 223, and I've mentioned that it really helped to do the factory crimp. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but I've got my sticker on my gun cabinet, my Reloaders Network sticker. Seemed like there was something else I was wanting to cover besides them. Has anybody used the? Yeah, I hate bifold. Yeah, see me look. It look like this, then you can go looking at my nose, see my nose hair. But anyway, uh, has anybody used that bulge busting crimping die system? Do you like it? Oh, really? I see. My wife has trouble. She has trouble feeling in her hands, and she can't hardly work an automatic. So I'm thinking real seriously about getting her a revolver. I don't think she can do that Pico. I can't hardly do that Pico. I can't believe the springs that are in that thing. And then it's so thin anyway. So has anybody used the crimping die with the bulge buster? And how do you like it? Where's Uncle Jim? Hey, that's a good question. I don't know. He might be finding a place to put that patch. Yeah, don't shoot Glocks. Nathan said he's used it right here. Yes, sir. My 45 ACP, it works fine. And we'll size the bullet down. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was wondering. It almost have to, wouldn't it? So if and that's the deal because your bullets are oversized to start with, and if you use that, then it sizes it so it can go into the bulge cases. Yes, they do. That makes it hard to reload them, size them down. I have like it. Do you have one in a 357, Willie? Yeah, that was my thoughts. So if your bullet's proper size to start with, there probably won't be much of a bulge anyway. Yeah. Want to make sure it's reliable when it feeds. Yeah, that's the bad part about picking up brass from the range, because you just go ahead and size it, and you know that if it's been shot out of a Glock, it's going to have that weak part. It's worked hard. Yeah, the smiley face. So I'll probably be using that 357. I've got a bunch already loaded that I haven't got much of a crimp on. I'm going to try that out and crimp them down, see if they shoot any different. I'll probably leave some that's not crimped and crimp some and see if it makes a difference. Tearing it up. Oh, before I left work, I think a piece of aluminum flew in my eye and it's scratched it. And yeah, what happens when you're working in a hot place and the fans are blowing all day and you're welding and grinding and oh, thanks, Kyle. Ah, yeah, but I'm picking up everything I can find. A snubby 44. Why not just get a 454? Snubby. They sell that in Alaskan, don't they? It's a family child. Now, when you say combat snubby, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. 41 Magnum in the stubby, they do. Yeah, it's their factory seating die. It says it's got a bulge buster in it. It's got a little collar. It's not a collar, but it's a collar that is carbide. That when it goes down, it squeezes. It makes it uniform size before it crimps it. Well, when I'm talking about the bulge and the bulge busting crimping die is when your bullets are oversized, and when you seat them, it pushes out the brass. This die is supposed to push that bulge back in so you can reliably load it in your weapon. How safe is safe? I seen some Fortune Cookie 45 videos the other day. Is he not putting all his on YouTube anymore? Are kilts safe? No. Oversized or undersized. I've run into that too. Uh, they're when you size your brass, it makes it smaller, and then the it looks like it's an hourglass. Yeah, yeah, I've noticed that. Oh, there's the crazy Scotsman. How you doing, buddy? We're just talking about 40 Glocks. How you like 40 Glocks? I don't know. This was just a promptu thing because it's just been bugging me about this 40 caliber if it's desirable or die-in 9 millimeter. 9 millimeter's been around for a very, very long time, and I don't see it dying at any time. But the 40, I don't know. I would just soon have a 10 millimeter, but the guns are higher. The brass is hard to find. Uh, and it's a little rougher on the guns. And another thing too, I've got almost 3,000 rounds of 45. It'd be hard to go back to. Yes, the 10 millimeter is making a comeback. Yeah, it's really surprising. A lot of people using it for hunting and stuff anymore. Uh, Anybody see Chuck over at Alaskan Ballistics shot that black bear with his 10 millimeter? It's a it's a good round. That 10 millimeter is good round. I've thought about getting the only thing is that 10 millimeter carbine's hard to find. They sell out as soon as they get them. Never a Glock. Actually, we were just talking 40s in general, not just Glock. I figured that would push your button. Yeah, stretch it out to a 10 millimeter. Now, I've heard some guys shooting 40s in a 10 millimeter. That don't sound very safe to me. Yeah, I'm surprised Uncle Jim ain't here either. He might be busy. Yeah, but how many law enforcement agencies are using the 40 anymore. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I wouldn't think shooting a 40 and a 10 would be safe at all, because you'd never know if it would get in front of the ejector rod or the extractor. SIGs in general to me is just a little expensive, but they're good guns. Mr. Holster just loves his Sig Sauer 10 millimeter. I think he's got the Hunter. It's in camouflage and everything. Haven't seen too many videos in a while since the 10 millimeter high point came out. Ain't too many people talking about it anymore like they were. Man, it's getting quiet. It's getting quiet now. Kind of ran out of things to talk about. Seems like there was a third thing I was wanting to mention. I'm looking at the reloading bench, see if there's anything up here. Yeah, the 10 millimeter capacity is, the 10 shot capacity on the Glocks are a killer for that. Red Ball makes larger capacity mags, but they're extended out so far that they're still single stack. I noticed they came out with the 45 ACP that double stacks after the column, but it's just ridiculous how far it sticks out. Thank you, Kyle. I was kind of hoping this would turn into a pretty good chat. Last time I done a chat, it was right after I think the Parkview shooting or something, and it didn't do very good. Oh, weekly Tim chat. Thanks, Nathan. I don't know that I can keep a chat going that long. I've never owned a Sig Sauer. Yes, I do miss cowboy action shooting. But it got to where it was really just so expensive. And it took up a lot of time. I miss my guns, what I used to have for the cowboy action shooting. I really miss them. Yeah, I doubt if I go back to the cowboy action. I don't have the pistols or the shotgun anymore. Matter of fact, I don't have the lever action either. I don't have any of the guns that I had for the cowboy action. Nathan, did you get that 32 back around I want to say 2004, 2005? Because I can remember Davison having the 32 mags with the black bird head handles about that time, and it was I was either going to get them or the 44 mags, and I ended up with the 44 mag uh, Vaqueros. Yeah. Yeah, I done that back and forth with the 32s and the 44s. Like I said, and I ended up with the 44s, and they were uh, highly polished stainless steel. Man, they just shine. They were beautiful guns, and that set of guns, and they had consecutive serial numbers. Uh, that's my biggest regret of any gun I've ever got rid of. Yeah, you burned through a lot. There's Uncle Jim. Where you been? Everybody's been missing you. Yes, that is actually the lowest caliber is the 32. They will allow youngsters and some women to shoot 22, but they don't really like it. Uncle Jim after dark sounds pretty. Yeah, but it's not dark where Uncle Jim's at. Yeah, I never did get to compete with the 45. I competed with 38s is what I mostly used, and then I had the 44s. But when I first started, I had a Winchester lever action, but it only held 9 rounds, and most of your shoots you needed 10 rounds. So I would have a round in my vest, and on the ninth shot, leave the action open and put the manually put the 10th shot in to get my last shot. And I used a Stevens side by side, and that's where I excelled at was in the shotgun side by side part of the match. How well, how much of a recap? We've been talking about 40 S and Ws. Uh, if people like them better than 9mm or 45 ACP, what do you like about them? What grain bullet are you shooting in them? Uh, that's what it started out to be, and then we went from that to the Lee factory crimp dies. And we talked a little bit about the cowboy action shooting. You guys are talking about the powder measures. Does anybody watch Toolness? Toolness 1, I think it is. He's not got very many subscribers, But he's been having trouble with his unique in his powder measure. And I think you guys noticed that I had trouble with my unique. Yeah, because we were talking about the baffle and all that. He has found a unique way to resolve that problem. He bought I'm just going to come out and say it. He bought a vibrator and hooked it to his powder measure, and he's saying it's working excellent. Now, we're not talking about, the big things. It's the speed control on the little thingy-majigger. That run you all off with that. He said he works in an industry where they use vibrators, shakers on their hoppers, and that's where he got the idea. Well, thank you, Uncle Jim. Me and you's going to have to do something about that. I have to do this more often. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm not working overtime anymore. We had a big barbecue and they said thanks and all that. The welding department has caught up, and the paint department and the assembly side has been working Saturdays, and the rest of us haven't had to work anymore. How much do you pay for 25 pounds of shot? I noticed over here at the convenience store, it's $45 now for a 25-pound bag. I used a 20 gauge. When it comes to a shotgun, I'm kind of a wimp. But I do shoot a lot of magnums for Crow, and $45. Yeah. I do shoot magnum. I only load magnum shells because when I reload standard shells, you might as well just buy them because it's basically the same price after you buy your wads, your shot, your powder, and everything you need. How does a shot maker work? I don't even know that I've ever heard of a shot maker. Rotary metal cell shot. Sweet. Now, see, that's about the price. $15 to $20 is what I used to pay for shot back 12 years ago. Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out, Magna Engineering. Well, I know when we had that lead shortage or whatever it was, man, prices jumped up to $60, $70. Shipping's included. That's good. you like my shirt? I noticed you got one. It's a nice shirt. It feels really nice. I was worried about the size. I told him extra large, but in a t-shirt, I take a 2X because sometimes they shrink or they're made smaller than what they actually are. But man, this thing is just nice. Guys, I'm running out of things to say. I noticed the side chat's getting slow too. Yeah, I noticed Nathan in a shirt. I mean, in a suit. Nathan was in a suit. Thanks, Thor Zax. It's really comfortable. It's a comfortable shirt. Here's Ozark Spirit. Hey, you're going to get a kick out of this, Ozark Spirit. I finally convinced my wife to go to Pea Ridge, to down to the battlefield, and she got on their website and was looking at it, and she goes, "Hey, they got pygmy rattling copper-headed water moccasins." And I said, "Well, we do too." She said, "Yeah, but we've never put out a warning for them." So she won't go to Pea Ridge. She won't go to Arkansas. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. I got started reloading when I was 21. I bought a 357, and I had a local guy load my shells for me. Well, his prices kept getting larger and larger, and I thought, you know what? If he can load them shells, I can load my own. And that's how I got started. I had a Ruger Mark II, and I'm not really impressed with 22s, so I took it and traded it for a bunch of reloading stuff. Rattle-headed copper-headed water moccasins. And that's how I got started. Let's see. I started out with a Lee starter kit, which actually had the Nutcracker. I had scoops, and came with the starter kit. Came with a die set, and Oh, really? Yeah, I want to get down there to Pea Ridge bad. I love this area, talking about the Civil War. But to get back to the reloading, and that's how I got started. And I could set up anywhere. I could just mom and dad had a folding table. It was called Dirty Bird, Chinese checkers, but they called it Dirty Bird. And I used it for years. And actually, when I worked the guard security, I would take it with me and on boring nights and load shells at work. Yeah, I like the scoops. Fuzzy's got me back into using the scoops. Yeah. 22s have their place. My dad was a big coon hunter, and that's all we used was 22s to hunt coons. And other than that, I've never really found a use for 22s. I can't reload for 22s, and I love reloading. I like customizing my loads to my gun. And let's just face it, I love experimenting with whatever I can experiment with. Yeah, that Fuzzy, he's a character. Well, guys, we've been on here for an hour. Yeah, they do work. Scoops do work. Actually, what I like about the scoops is you don't have to pour a container into the hopper and empty it out. And, it's in a bowl and you just pick the bowl up and dump it back in. I can't believe you asked me that again. Jim, did you just ask me how I started reloading? Oh, shoot. You're just too funny. All right, guys. I think I'm going to get off here. It's almost my bedtime. Yes, something to talk about. Well, yeah, but I just explained. I think I just explained that. Did it not come through? You nipping on the shot. Yeah, I think he's been in the corn squeezins. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Like I said, we've been on here over an hour. I'm really shocked. Thanks for coming in and supporting me, guys, and having the talk. Bye, guys.